decades, humanity has reported encounters with the unknown. Lights in the sky, craft beyond our understanding, and programs hidden in the shadows. Now, the truth may finally be emerging. This is the Uncovering Anomalies Podcast.
Woo! All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 172 of the Uncovering Anomalies Podcast. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, I Have a Need to Know, Adam.
What up, everyone?
And I am Topher, and I'm so excited to be here. Last week, we were off because of that great World Cup.
Yes, we were.
We were rooting for Spain over here, and they did, in fact, take the trophy home. They lifted the trophy.
Yep, they kicked Messi's ass. Essay.
It was a very interesting game. It seemed very lopsided in terms of Spain's domination, but also lopsided the other direction. Argentina I don't watch soccer, so maybe I'm speaking out of pocket a little bit here, but Argentina seemed really dirty to me.
They were just upset because they're spoiled. I mean, the entire World Cup, the refs or whatever, something favored them. FIFA favored them or something, and it was super obvious. So that's what happens. I mean, look at the Israelis. That's what happens when you spoil people and let them do whatever they want without accountability. They act like that, and they acted like thugs. And even after they lost, they were picking fights, and that's what happens.
Yeah. I did see that the next day, I think, because I didn't stick around for after the game. I don't really care about all of that, but I did see videos from after the game, the Argentina players getting in several fights and throwing punches and all this other stuff.
Pretty dirty, pretty Jesus. But good on Spain. Yamal. He's supposed to be their star, but he only scored one goal. Anyway, let's not make this into a World Cup thing.
Sure.
Right?
You didn't want to do the World Cup episode?
That would have been so much fun. I don't know why we didn't do that.
Next World Cup in 4 years. It's 4 years, right?
Yeah. Every 4
They're
years,
on the Olympic schedule. Yeah. But instead of talking about the World Cup anymore, we're going to jump into UAP news from the last couple weeks.
Yeah, we'll do an update. I think you said we were off last week, and we did try to put up an episode of a presentation by Dr. Joseph Farrell, but there was no sound, unfortunately. And because I was not attending, I was not, doing the episode. I tried to do it while watching the game. I shouldn't have done that. Anyway, maybe we'll do it again next week when we're off. We'll see.
Yep.
However, let's get into it. There is some good news with the UAP disclosure that happened last week, and
the House approves Burlison Amendment creating framework for UAP records disclosure. The U.S. House has approved an amendment from Representative Burlison that would establish a formal process for preserving, reviewing, and publicly releasing government records related to unidentified anomalous phenomena, commonly known as UAPs or UFOs, if it ultimately becomes law.
The
amendment. Go ahead.
No, and I was going to say, it passed the House. It still has to go to the Senate, and this is in the NDAA, which is also very problematic. It's good that this is in here, right? And it's going through, but the NDAA in general, and we'll talk about why. So if you want to continue, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't want to read this whole thing. That's the gist of it. But I'm glad you touched on that because yes, the NDAA as a whole, not good.
No,
but man, it's such a problem when you've got the good stuff merged in with all the shit, and this is just how American bills pass.
Yeah, exactly. And what's in here is that Section 219. So breaking the U.S. The House has passed the bill that will merge the U.S. and Israeli militaries, and now moves to the Senate for the final vote. Has this ever happened in the history of the world where a foreign government that's tiny merges its military into the world empire? I mean, it's like saying, Rome when Rome was an empire, right? And then like a little canton, I don't know what they used to call their areas, I don't know, somewhere in North Africa. Yeah, let's say somewhere in North Africa. I don't know, whatever Libya was called back then. It was under Roman rule. What if they said, we want to merge our military with yours, and not just that, but we will be in charge of your foreign policy as well, which means where you're gonna use those assets. We're going to tell you where to put those assets,
right.
Use those assets. Has that ever happened?
I'm sure someone will find an obscure example and put it in the comments and call us
all right,
call us Nazis for pointing this out.
Yeah.
But I do find it extremely funny that you've got Republicans talking about how China is spying on us and trying to infiltrate our government. You've got the Democrats talking about Russia is spying on us and infiltrating our government. But the call is coming from inside the house.
Yeah. And it's enemies, foreign and domestic. And these people, every single one of them that voted for it, and it was only 4 people who voted against it, right? 4 people. And it's the usual subject people like Massey, Burchett, Luna. But even them, Massey put a vote before it was voted on the House, and both Luna and Burchett allowed it to go through. Like they didn't vote no against the Section 219.
Right, it's performative no's.
Yes,
but good for Massey, even though he's still there, but he's been ousted, as we covered a month ago. Anyway, he's still sticking to his guns.
Yeah, and this is going to give them access to our deepest secrets. It really is. If you read, everyone should read Section 219. It is crazy. I mean, they're going to be integrated into our entire system. Okay, basically like this, black projects, deep black projects, reverse engineer things, and then they understand what they are. Then they seed them into our technology base, into different, contractors and corporations, and that makes its way into developing new technologies. And so they're gonna have access to that shit. Isn't that nuts?
It is nuts. And what actually I wanted to touch on this is the general public's inability to understand how bills work. I saw this tweet posted in the UFO subreddit, and one of the comments was like, "Who voted against this?" And someone responded, "Oh, Massey, of course." Like, "Oh, I hate that guy. He's such a loser." It's just like he doesn't want to know about UFOs.
Yeah,
like that was their whole thing. Like that's what they took away from the NDAAs. The people who voted against it don't want to know about UFOs. I'm like, no, man, there's like a larger issue here. If you know how things work.
Exactly. If you know how things work. It's like, look over here, everyone.
Yeah. I mean, but again, that's that TikTok clickbait headline reading people who don't actually do any further critical thinking into things like this.
It's like almost they made a deal, because I've always said, and we've always said from our research and what's what we can see with our eyes is that the deep state has ties to Israel, or they're just ultra Zionists, and the UFO file is held by the same type of people. So it's like it was a deal. It's like, fine, you guys want to release this, then we want a part of it.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
It's so frustrating because it most definitely should be very separate things, but that's the only way you can pass bills in the United States is to attack them on to different bigger bills. It's really frustrating.
Yeah, that's politics. You got to make deals, right?
Yep.
And the thing is, and I don't want to stay too long on this. The thing is,
continue as soon as we can.
That country has spied on us, stolen technology, and sold it. It's just known. So imagine if they would have access to it's going to end up in China and Russia, 100%, right?
Well, not only that, but they did blow up a ship, try to blame it on another country, but that one got swept under the rug.
Of course, yes, it did. Anyway, let's move on. And
let's move on.
I'm sure our audience already knows about this, but if you are new, you should be pissed off, and you should contact your senators and tell them to remove Section 219 from the NDAA. Keep the UAP. DA though.
Yeah, of course we want that. That's the good stuff, the good juicy stuff.
Exactly.
One of the leading public personas in this newest push for UAP disclosure, weirdly enough, has been Dr. Phil. I don't understand how he wormed his way into this. I think it's because Trump likes publicity and he likes public figures and fame. And he goes, who's the most famous doctor we know of? Dr. Phil. Also, not a doctor.
Not a doctor. But, he is really popular in Middle America. Right. And maybe that's why they brought him in. Is that
I think that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, like if we need to convince the American people, then we have to convince Middle America, and he would be a good guy to do it. He's convincing, he's trusted, and I've been listening to him, and he's really into it, and he's saying the right things, like they're covering it up, and so I don't know. I think it's a positive, whether it's a psyop or a agenda, it's fine. I think
so. Here's the article. Dr. Phil reveals the White House had him review UFO files to see how the public would react to them. So they kind of want him to be this. I mean, like you said, expose it to Dr. Phil so he can expose it to his audience or Middle America. Get the response there in small doses, and he's not obviously going to go on his show and show Klaxor autopsy footage. But just so, he is a public figure, a well-known one, and he will probably get the vibe of, are people really freaking out about this? Do they not care? How does this make me money? That's what Trump wants to know.
Yes, unfortunately, that is so true. Did you see the clip with him with the potential like military contractors in Pennsylvania?
I don't think so.
Oh, he's like, build magnets. You want to make money? Yeah.
Yeah. I did see that.
All right. So TV personality Dr. Phil claims the Trump administration tapped him to review government files about UFOs before they're released to the public. Dr. Phil, an ally of the president and member of the administration's Religious Liberty Committee, told News Nation that the White House sought him out to provide his commentary on the files, which included scrutinizing how the public might react to learning that humans are, quote, somewhere different in the food chain of the universe. That is not encouraging.
Hell yeah. I can't wait to see some Martians on Jerry Springer. DNA tests say you did impregnate this woman.
Exactly. Yeah, this hybrid is your kid.
No, Jerry.
I think the reason they're giving me access to this is because they want me doing exactly what I'm doing, he told the program Reality Check in an episode that released on Tuesday. I have maintained independence in what I'm doing. They're not scripting me. They're not telling me what to say and not to say. I believe him. No,
I don't know. It's Dr. Phil. I think he just like anyone in his position, they're gonna do anything, say anything to be like in the spot, popular and in the spotlight. So while they may not be handing him a script exactly, they know he's not going to go out there and say UFOs killed JFK. This is why JFK's dead. They've been lying to us about Roswell for 80 years. He's not going to do any of that.
No, he's not. Exactly. He's not going to say that Jesus was a hybrid or any weird stuff like that. Yeah.
Right. So he may not be handed a script or a teleprompter, but they have a general idea of what he will and won't do.
Right. So having allegedly reviewed the files, Dr. Phil said he was convinced they reveal a government cover-up about the truth behind UFO sightings, including government agents treating President Trump like a temp employee and not sharing their full knowledge with him. This is actually pretty brilliant of Trump to bring him on to say shit like that.
Yeah. Well, see, there we go. I mean, that's a 4D chess move, right?
Yeah,
that's what I love what to say about Trump.
Look at this picture, like he's like Jesus or something. Look at that.
Oh my god! But I mean, so just taking that phrase alone, treating the president like a temp employee and not telling them everything we need to know, that's something that the UFO community has. I'll say speculated, but because I don't want to say no, but largely speculated that the president is often left out of the need to know stuff by whatever morally superior group is running the show in the background because the presidents are deemed temporary employees. And I think the common theory is that when Truman made the deal way back in the day, he said no one after me has a need to know about this, right?
Pretty much. Pretty much. And to all the government bureaucrats that listen to the show, if you do listen to the show, we are not against you. If you're a patriot and you're keeping a secret for, I don't know, if it's like I don't know what your justification is. But if the justification is to protect corporate interests, then you're evil and you're a fucker. Okay.
Yeah.
If it's for, I don't know what it is, if they eat us or something like that, and you think it's going to scare the hell out of us, fine. I understand.
Yeah. Like that's, man, spot on. Like if you are protecting the Rothschilds, get out of here. I don't want it.
Right.
You have no business. You have no, exactly. Fuck you.
Yeah.
But if these are soul-eating demons from another planet, and there's like a secret war going on Mars that we're sending our best and brightest to go fight, and that's why it's kept secret. Like that'll be like, okay, I understand where you're coming from. That's a lot and would freak people out. But don't protect the Rothschilds.
No. And if it is really like a war on Mars, give us a call. We can.
Oh my God! I'll go and die on Mars
for humanity, of course.
For humanity, to be clear, for humanity, not just for fun.
Right? Yes, exactly.
And not to go protect corporate interests.
Oh, dude, that would actually be a good game. Yeah,
it's called Doom.
Oh yes, yeah. I realized that even like Half-Life is basically a UFO game, like black projects, right? Like yeah. I wish we can continue that, dude. Half-Life 1.
Well, I'll find a way to do it. I gotta. Okay. What I really need to do is take out a loan before I'll take out a huge $7. No, listen. 7-digit loan from the U.S. Flee the country. They can't get me.
That's brilliant, dude. They won't find you.
There's no way. There is no way that could ever go wrong.
All right, sorry everyone. We went on a track there. So just to go back to Dr. Phil and the government or bureaucrats treating the president as a temp employee, he says that infuriates me. How dare they do that? I don't think that's right, and I think we deserve better. Then he goes on to say, I think it needs to be provided with context, and I think that the American public is prepared to handle that. He continued, I think we as a government need to be prepared to help those that have a difficult time with it. Nice. I mean, he understands. He understands. Like you said, he's not a doctor, but he also he comes off as some type of therapist, right, or something. Yeah. So that's how he's approaching this subject. That it is going to drive some people crazy. It's going to change their reality, their view on reality, right? And if the government's going to do this, they need to do it the right way.
Yeah, and again, I mean, remember we talked about all those priests, I don't know, again, maybe a month ago, that they were supposedly they were in the know, and the whole point was so they could see if people were going to go crazy and they could calm people down. So I feel like there is a kernel of truth behind this, that the government is actually doing this testing to see how people will react. I mean, because we had the priests, and then the tranche, I think it was the first tranche came out like the next day or the day after that.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, that included nothing about the religious aspect of it. It was just lights in the sky. And then we've got Dr. Phil essentially saying the same thing. So there's got to be some truth behind the government actually concerned about this, and B, preparing to release some news, some real news, not
preparing. Yeah, and maybe of course trying to shape the narrative. How can they benefit from the narrative, right? It's
actually I'm sure we're going to talk about. Are we going to talk about jiu-jitsu on the basement?
Oh yeah, we'll get there.
Okay, because
unless you want to cover it earlier, let me know, and then we can do that.
No. You brought up a good point about shaping the narrative, and that's a big part of what Corbell was talking about. But we'll save that.
Okay. All right. So this is another thing that also came out last week, in addition to the UAP Disclosure Act.
Exclusive. President Trump has directed the Department of War and the intelligence community to waive non-disclosure agreements for former government employees and contractors who want to cooperate with federal UAP investigators. The directive follows years of complaints from lawmakers and whistleblowers that people with firsthand knowledge were too afraid to talk. A new tranche of UAP files is expected very soon.
I hate those two words.
Yep. They suck. They suck so hard. Very soon. It is like they're horrible. This again, one of those things. Looks good on the surface. Of course not. We need to protect our whistleblowers. I will, defend that for my entire life.
Yes.
However, what they're talking about is defending whistleblowers who go to Arrow.
Oh, that's right. I did read that.
Yeah. And so what do we know about Arrow? They lie, cheat, and steal and do not care two licks about the truth.
Yeah. Let's see. I told you all, FYI, disclosure moment. But yeah, I read that too somewhere else, is that it's going to Arrow. And we know Arrow just doesn't even follow up on anything, or they go to the agency that guy used to work for and tells them that you have a leak.
Exactly. We covered Arrow extensively like a year ago. And all the shady stuff that they were up to. And what's Fitzpatrick? He might not be Kirkpatrick. He might not be running the show anymore, but it's still the same group of individuals with that same mindset in charge of Arrow.
It is, and it's part of the Department of War. First of all, it's not independent. It's part of the intel community. So it's
I mean, obviously, we need more whistleblower protection. No more falling out of windows. No more cars
suicides.
Blowing up. No more quote unquote suicides.
Yeah.
But at the same time, who in their right mind, who's working, for the, I don't know, let's say Department of Energy, is going to go, oh yeah, I'll happily go talk to Arrow now that they're protecting me. Nah. So is right. That essentially did, nothing. Again, it's one of those, I would say it's a step in the right direction, but it's not even a full step. It's like you're looking in the right direction.
Yeah, it's just headlines as usual. Well, okay, let's see what Burlison has to say about it. All right.
Trump said yesterday that he's going to, they got a process. We're going to waive non-disclosure agreements, so that's going to be coming forward. We're getting ready to issue a statement. My office that we're working through with Stephen Miller. If you have information you want to come to my office, we can shepherd you through. He's giving me multiple avenues to make people feel comfortable, so that they can waive their non-disclosure agreements and then provide information in a secure environment.
Are there people who have already expressed interest in doing that? I mean,
yeah, I've got a meeting tomorrow morning. So I think it's going to shake some things loose. Hopefully, more people will feel confident and comfortable to come forward. Trump said yesterday.
Wow, he's got a meeting. When is this? This was this was this morning. So he's got a meeting tomorrow.
All right. Well, hopefully we hear something. Well, we probably won't hear anything unless that person decides to publicly come forward.
Yeah, this is the guy we want. To talk about it. Because he said he would. This is Eric Davis. This is the guy.
Mm-hmm.
That they waive his NDAs. He said, "I will spill the beans. I'll say everything."
This is great.
Yeah, and he's the one who saw all the aliens, the files. He's the one who talked to Bush about the Holloman Air Force Base. Yeah, I'd love for this guy to just say it.
You know what? Here's what I'm going to say. We're a small time podcast. To the government agencies listening, if you really want to throw everyone off track, leak information to us so we can release it. No one will ever believe. Right. No one will ever believe we released breaking information about UAPs.
I mean, look, the names, it says it right there. We have a need to know.
Our podcast is called UAP.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so use us as the conduit for leaking. Don't go through Corbell and those guys.
No, they don't know anything. They don't work hard.
Yeah, bring it on over here.
We're the real journalists. Have you seen my articles about UAP crashes?
Yeah, I got a secure Dropbox, man. We put it through there.
Yeah, release it to us so we can release it.
Dude, that'd be so funny if they actually start doing that.
Oh, man. Dream come true.
Uncovering Anomalies Podcast at gmail.com. Very easy.
There you go.
Maybe I should get us a Proton account.
Reach out to us on Twitter.
Yeah, you can. Exactly. Our DMs are open. Although I haven't logged in a very long time.
No, you missed a very important conversation that was happening.
Dude, I swear I'll get into that. I
week.
just remembered. It's just sorry, guys. I'll get in there after this podcast. I promise.
Wonderful. All right, let's hear what Eric Davis has to say.
All right.
If the President of the United States issued an executive order that absolves me of all of my TSSCI NDAs. NDAs are non-disclosure agreements. Those are the agreements we have to sign for every compartment in our SCI clearances. So if the president waives or absolves my obligation to those NDAs, and I get subpoenaed by Congress, somebody on Capitol Hill, some committee, either in the Senate or the House or the both, to reveal everything I know that I learned from my investigations, both unclassified and classified, into the legacy UAP, crash retrieval, and hardware reverse engineering and HI programs, I would do so. If I could be waived from that or absolved in some fashion by presidential order, and if Congress subpoenas me, yes, I would go and tell them everything I know. If
Holy
the President of the United
shit.
Man,
Come on, Eric. Come on, Eric. Dr. Eric.
Dr. Eric. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things they're talking about protecting whistleblowers, but I mean, this is who they need to give I don't know if pardon's the right word, but just come let them spill secrets. But again, it's one of those things that I feel like unfortunately, the main reason why they don't let people like Eric Davis come out and speak and why they're so big on clamping on the story is because it reveals what the U.S. military has or doesn't have. And that's what they're trying to protect. I think, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think he'll probably be careful of not saying that stuff, right? He'll probably say yes, it's crash retrieval, and yes, the aliens, you know, he'll confirm.
Right. But even
say about them.
I think revealing crash retrieval means you're kind of giving away your hand in terms of reverse engineering, things like that.
Yeah, for sure. You are. Yeah.
At this point, though, it's like
we all know.
Yeah, we all know. So, like, man, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's the thing about secrets is there's no hint as to what the U.S. government knows. You know, no,
and we have no idea what was seeded in and what we are using today came from that. We have no idea, but because the system that's been this whatever they designed, the system is genius, right? And it's very hidden. You cannot, which is why Israel wants to be part of it. Mm-hmm. But whenever the scientists figure out something, it just gets seeded in and goes in, and that's why the U.S. military is always 50 to 100 years ahead of the rest of the planet,
right?
Because of that. I mean, I don't want these secrets out either, but why don't they just tell us that the universe is teeming with life and, you know, that stuff instead of us stuck in this 50s mindset.
Right. That's what I keep complaining about with the tranches. I don't care. I mean, yes, seeing these crafts on FLIR, really cool stuff, but I want to see the juicy stuff.
Exactly. You don't have to reveal anything. Like they showed us nuclear tests, right, and what they can do.
Yeah.
They don't tell us how it works.
Right. Yeah. They don't that you can't find that on Wikipedia.
No, you cannot. So just do something similar. Anyway, here's Burchett talking about that the deep state is blocking disclosure. Nothing new.
I had a meeting at the Pentagon this week on the issue of a very high level meeting. I'm not at liberty to say who was there and what was, but I was there over 2 hours. If that tells you anything. And the disclosure is real. And the problem we're having right now is the deep state is blocking a lot of this. People in the deep state are blocking people like Stephen Miller and others from accessing this. I had a meeting at the Pentagon this week on the issue of.
But this is the point. This is the point where I'm at. Is instead of saying the deep state, you need to come out and name names. Who? Director of the CIA?
Yeah. Who is it?
Exactly. Who is stopping progress on this? You can't just say, "Oh, it's the deep state." You know, "Oh, it's the boogeyman." "Oh, it's the Men in Black." Unless you physically don't know who it is, you know, like actually name the name. Like, who is stopping you? The deep state is not a person. Tell me who is stopping you.
You're right.
So we can go to their house with pitchforks and torches
We will
and ridicule them.
I'm not condoning violence or anything, but that's,
No. Never condoning violence.
It's my right. But yeah, and he keeps talking about the guy with the man bun. All right, tell us his name. We'll go after him on Twitter or whatever he is.
Yeah, likely they've got like super elite Twitter, like secret Twitter.
Oh yeah,
it's called XXX. All the rich and elite have a second account on there.
You know what's funny when I thought about, why don't they just tell us about aliens and teaming with life, and my mind automatically went there because humans do that. Because the first industry to always go after something new is the porn industry. Always. So you know it. If the whole thing was was just normalized with aliens, it 100% they're gonna go there.
Yeah, actually, funny story. Back in I guess it was the mid 2000s, before Blu-ray became the standard, it was going from DVD. There was a rift. It was either going to be Blu-ray or HD DVD.
Oh yeah, I remember that fight.
Blu-ray won because porn started using Bluray. That's why Blu-ray won.
Dude, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
that's why Blu-ray won. Wow.
Yeah. It's a crazy story. I think I watched a documentary about it. Like, I'm not saying like this is a euphemism for watching porn. Like, I legitimately watched a documentary about it.
No. I believe you.
Okay.
I believe you. Now, I don't know about the audience, but I believe you.
Well, slide into my DMs if you don't believe me.
Oh, okay. So this is another thing from Eric Davis. He did a new interview. This is long, and I'm not going to go through all of them unless you want to, but it's from Joe Murgia, who he does transcripts on X. Great account. I definitely recommend you follow him because he's been doing this for a long time. So, and he's even interviewed people in the past, so he's very knowledgeable about this subject. So he knows who Eric Davis is talking about in this interview. So if you want, should we listen to this first and then maybe?
Yeah, let's do that.
This is fascinating.
I just know that one aerospace company that ran their program at Wright-Patterson circa the 1990s, from not long after the birth of this company to the end of the 80s. They had an intact craft. They didn't know how to activate it. They could get inside. They didn't know how to activate it. But one of their engineers or scientists working on it. So I think he was inside the craft. So it's not manual human style control systems. It's a completely different type of control system. Definitely not anthropomorphic or anything. He was desperately touching things to try to get something to work, and he accidentally activated it and levitated. And he couldn't figure out how to turn it off. So my source at TRW for that said that craft was just left levitating in the hangar, in a secured classified hangar, and that's how they had to leave it, because nobody could figure out how to reverse the controls to shut it down.
That is so crazy, man.
That is wild.
So it wasn't even anthropomorphic. So the beings weren't even like humanoid. He said they had no idea like what these controls do, who it's designed for.
Man, I can't even imagine.
I know, dude. This stuff's so cool. This is the stuff that should come out.
What's
wrong with that?
Exactly, right? That's what I like. That's the stuff I want to know about.
Yeah. And why not have the whole human family be part of it? Why are they like left out? That is such cool. I don't know. It's too bad. I don't have to worry
I'm wondering because so we've talked about different leaks and crashes and myths and rumors about UFOs specifically, how they might be living craft, like the craft itself might be alive, and you just interface with it, like you plug your brain into it, and that's how you control the craft. And like I wonder, because you still could have humanoid aliens. If they're just if they're sticking a probe into their butthole and that's how they control it, like it's, you could still technically do that with 2 arms and 2 legs.
Yeah, no, the only reason why it's in there is because it has to connect to the bottom of the cerebral. I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. That is really cool. Again, this is the stuff I want to see in the tranches, not FLIR. I mean, the FLIR stuff, again, it's cool, but this is the kind of stuff I want to see.
Exactly. And he does name the scientists. Joe does. Where is she? Oh, Mary Elizabeth Elliott. And he's basically saying here, bring her now that you can waive the NDAs, bring her in.
Mhm.
She's working on the craft. And so how does he know that? Is it this interview? Wait. Davis once again confirms the Wilson Davis notes. Also, Mary Elizabeth Elliott illegally leaked him info about the intact craft at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Oh,
About
But as far as like your work at NIDS, were you ever privy, and you probably can't even answer this, were you ever privy to any classified information that would give you a clue that that Roswell did happen?
Not Roswell specifically. I was given leaked classified information by someone who was an executive administrative assistant and field security officer for one of the legacy aerospace companies that no longer exist. It got absorbed by one of the other legacy aerospace companies after 2000 or about that period of time. And that individual revealed that Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, where they had a facility at, her company that employed her, and they had intact craft there that they were trying to reverse engineer. And so that I knew about. That was illegal information. She shouldn't have told me, but I didn't have security clearances with the need to know to get that. That was leaked. And that was kept very quiet until the leak of the Wilson notes, in which elements of her story, of that woman, that's a woman, that individual's story, were included as context, to provide context to the Wilson notes. It wasn't, it was just kind of glommed on to the Wilson transcript to provide context.
Dude, okay, so that's how we knew her name. That's where Joe gets. It's from the David Wilson memo the notes that were leaked. We've never done a show on the David Wilson notes, did we?
No, we haven't.
Dude, that'll be a lot of fun to go through them. Those notes are something else.
We'll put it on the list.
All right, nice. So what else do we have? And this might be a foreshadowing into a show we want to do about the 4 different alien beings or species.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. You brought it up to me, and you do want to do a new paper on that, a new deep, and then we can go into that. But this is Eric Davis again.
Yeah, he's all over the place now.
He is, and I think that's encouraging because we need this guy to just not be scared of his NDAs.
Exactly.
All right, so here's him talking about the different beings.
Of this. My question for you is, now I'm not trying to push you to break your NDAs here, but I know you can't say much, but in those photos and reports, were those species involved in those photos and reports that you saw?
Just one of them. And there's a minimum of 4, and that was my slip up for not clarifying that. There's a minimum of 4. The best example of the number of, I don't know if you would say species versus morphology. You have to look at Bob Emenegger's book, his companion book to his 1974 television documentary, UFOs, Past, Present, and Future.
Yeah.
And he's got a section in the middle of the book showing graphics of the taxonomy of different UAP craft that have been observed and investigated by Project Blue Book. And then there's one with the taxonomy of NHIs or aliens. And that's that section on the taxonomy of the different NHIs / aliens, or UFOnauts, as Jacques Vallée calls them, is an excellent example of the variety of different type of UAP beings or crew members that have been reported and investigated and encountered. So there's a minimum of 4. The insect, and as I qualified as at the May 1st, 2025 House Oversight Committee, I clarified that the reptilians and insectoids are not a species well, they are. It's just that they morphologically resemble what they're familiar with on Earth. So, for example, the insectoid is going to represent a type of NHI species that resembles or looks like it's got the facial and body morphology of an insect or a praying mantis. Yeah, but that's not what they are. They're not a praying mantis by any means. They're not an insect by any means. It's just that's how they appear.
Right. They're not an evolution of a praying mantis, actually.
Yeah. And so the same with the reptilian, it doesn't mean that they're reptiles. It just means that they resemble an Earth-type reptile. Remember, these things, we don't know that they even come from Earth. So, but that doesn't mean that's exactly what they are. We don't have, I'm not aware that we've got any deceased ones. I'm aware that we've recovered deceased grays. And the grays are like the little ones you saw near the end of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. The little guys, diminutive bodies and really large heads.
Is that the one you saw in the photos? The grays?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fascinating. Okay. And I don't know how much information you can give about these photos. Was it some of the famous crash sites that we've heard about over the years? Is it Roswell?
No, this was foreign intelligence collected. So this is a foreign crash, and that's classified. So I can't get into that, but it is the photos I saw came from the site of a foreign crash retrieval during the Cold War.
Got it. Like, how does that work exactly, Dr. Davis?
So basically Russia. Oh, you sent me that alien from the Russian. You think he's talking about that? Is that why it was resurfacing?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. We could transition into that video.
Yeah.
I think that's a good transition. I don't think he's talking about that because that was originally posted in, I want to say 2011. There was actually two of them. This is a different one that gets poked with a stick, but there's another one that's pretty famous.
Should I leave the sound on? Or
no, I don't think we need the sound unless sorry to our audience that does speak Russian. But yeah, this was supposedly a little gray that was found in the Russian countryside someplace.
And they are like constructed like insects. Look at them. Look at the arms. And dude, I think this is real.
So there's another one, where it's like the very similar body, and it's actually less decomposed than this one appears.
Is that the one in the snow?
Yes, that's the one in the snow.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
Whoa, dude.
And I think they even poked this one with a stick, which
its eyes are open, isn't it? Why is it blurry?
Because it's an old camera. Yeah, they do poke with a stick.
His eyes, dude. That's real. Look at that. Unless the puppeteers are just, why poke its head, man? Maybe it is fake. If he's poking its head.
I mean, so this again, it's pretty old now, but getting some traction once again in online spaces. Cool video. Again, very little context. I don't know. Did they pick it up and send it to a facility? Did they do anything with it? Did they eat it? Who knows?
Yeah. What does he say in Russian here? Translate. Where's translate? There's no translate. Translate selection in English.
There you go.
On the Cranberry Lake in Siberia, fishermen caught a humanoid in the net.
Whoa, interesting.
Whoa.
It was in the net. So close to the Nazca mummies and the snow body. Yeah, that's the Siberia. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
No, it's not the same.
No, it's not. The eyes did look like they were.
Yeah.
The eyes looked like they opened up a little bit.
Translate to English. No one has ever made noise and no one will. That makes no sense. The poor guy stared at me. These are Russians. This is Sanya. He drank 3 liters of vodka. That's why he's sleeping.
Oh, the Russians know how to have a good time.
Yes, they do. I heard that the cops came for the body and took it away to an unknown place. It's surprising why this video has so few views 9 years ago. Huh.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't shock me if they called it in and the story immediately disappeared after that. I bet that's him right there talking about.
Yeah, he only has 2 videos.
Yeah. And then he suspiciously died under weird Russian circumstances.
Wait, did he?
Poison, stabbed, and fell out of a window. No, I'm making a joke.
Okay. That wouldn't surprise me, though.
Wouldn't surprise me either.
2016. Wow, how come I've never seen this one? Translate to English. Without equal well-being, there will never be morality in Russia. The thicker the pockets of the oligarchs, the more crime and immorality the people of the lower class. We're going through the same shit, guys, here.
Maybe he did get got by the Russian government.
Yeah.
You can't talk like that. You can't criticize the government in Russia.
Dude, this is not like a prank account. He doesn't put CGI accounts. This is real.
Very cool. Very cool stuff.
Yeah, that great link. Thanks for that.
Mhm.
All right, so continuing on, that's right. There was another interview, and we've played this guy before. Maybe he'll come on the show. He's cool. He worked for, I think, OSAP or the UAP task force, if you remember him.
Mm-hmm.
So he's talking about an experience there. So listen to this.
And someone came up to me. He said, "I was told to tell you." I was like, "Uh-oh." And he's like, "I was told to tell you that the ones that are flying around now are the ones that broke the treaty." I was like, "Whoa, what treaty?" More questions. You're laying on there. And he's like, the treaty that they made back in the 50s and the 60s. And I was like, so I had to do some reading, find out what treaty and whatever. And I was like, okay, why was the treaty broken? What's in the treaty? All those details. But you're not going to get those things because nobody knows anything. Or if they do, they're not talking. The ones that really know anything. And someone came up to me.
There's the whole treaty thing. Yeah.
The what's it called? The Gaiety?
Gaeta, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was kind of, I alluded to that earlier. That's supposedly the deal that Truman made, where he basically the lead theory.
Wait, Roosevelt.
Was it Roosevelt? I'm sorry.
No, you're right. Sorry,
yeah.
Truman.
Okay.
You're right. He had. Oh no, wait, sorry, it was Ike. Ike did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, the treaty was, I think they got technology the U.S. government got technology in exchange for the Greys, who's essentially who they made the deal with. The Greys could abduct a certain amount of people every year or whatever, and of course, to them that doesn't mean anything. They just started and continued abducting people, and with no limits.
With no limits, and the deal was that they had to tell the U.S. government who they abducted. They have to give them names or something like that.
Fucking bureaucracy, yeah. Like the aliens are keeping track. Like they even have a concept of names.
Yeah. Maybe they meant the DNA or something. You're right. Or maybe they wanted the address of the people that are abducted.
I don't know, like they're gonna know. Like there's people who've been abducted who have gotten implants. Like I remember reading or listening to this interview with this guy. He had gotten his implant removed, and when he got abducted again, he said the aliens didn't recognize him. So like they're really are they gonna write down his name? Like no, come on.
Right. Eisenhower's daughter. Granddaughter. She's in the community, and she says that. I mean, she says a lot of it's hard to prove the stuff she's saying, but she talks about the treaty all the time, and that she talks about bases on Mars and stuff like that.
Oh, man.
I don't know if we want to reach out to her. And
at some point I do. Yeah, that'd be.
You do? You want to talk
fascinating?
To her?
Of course, I love talking to people about stuff like this.
All right, I'll reach out to her. I will reach out to her. So, yes, cool, dude. That'd be fun.
But yeah, that's the treaty he's talking about. So it is interesting that the ones who are seen are the ones that are breaking the treaty. But again, is it a treaty when the U.S. can't do anything about? Like if you've got a treaty with two parties and one party is breaking the treaty and the other party can't do anything about it, did you even have a treaty in the first place?
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe you can use her name is Laura Eisenhower. Maybe you can use her as a source. The source for that agreement if you want to do a deep dive into it.
For sure.
Right.
The only thing that gets me about the Gaeta Treaty is why in the world would the Greys feel the need to even treat with the U.S. government?
Oh, because we were using nukes on them. I think they just the U.S. government or humanity became on par with them when nukes were developed. Right. Yes, they can shoot them down or whatever. They can turn them off. You can't turn off 1,000 at the same time. So I think they were forced into a treaty or, you know what I mean?
It's
they were almost dealing with peers, even though they don't see us as peers, but it was like, all right, whatever. Let's sign something with these guys.
Someone gave all those monkeys in that cage a gun.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Crazy matches. So this was taken. You remember that crash, the B-52 crash?
Yes, the one just. Oh yeah, the one that was like, man, what? Yeah. Again, like a month ago. Yeah.
Yes, very sad, but apparently there was a UFO there. And
nice. Yeah, this is a great video.
They filmed it, and here it is. Oh, it went passing by. Where is it? There it is. There it is. It's skimming. He sees the shadow. There it is. And it's red. Look at that thing.
Yeah, so cool.
It's like a ruby.
Yeah, like just a weird shape. Like makes no sense. Shouldn't be flying oriented that way. This is why I love alien technology, because it just doesn't make any sense.
Just going into the desert in the middle of nowhere, you know.
Hey, so you guys crashed a plane over here. Guess we'll see you later.
So I was in here. What if they were transporting that thing and it destroyed the? Holy shit!
Or transporting something of interest to the craft's occupants, or the craft itself.
So that's where it was. Flight Test Museum. This guy's saying. I was just going off into the desert.
Man, all cool stuff happens in the desert.
It does. It does. Yeah, the Jinn are there. Maybe it's them.
Yeah. I was gonna say why do the UAPs seem to love big, vast areas of emptiness, like the ocean or the desert? And then I was like, answer my own question. It's because humans aren't there.
Yes, exactly. I was waiting for you. Yes, it's because humans aren't there.
Because humans aren't there.
We're dangerous, dude. I think our curiosity makes us dangerous, like Corbell would say, right? It's weaponized.
Yeah.
And we get so curious that we just want to know everything. We want to capture it. We want to test it. We want to. So.
You know, there's this weird thing, you know, we've talked a lot about it before, about expanding consciousness, and like the more human, maybe they're waiting to expose themselves to us until more people are exposed or like or want to know about the truth. But at the same time, did I lose you there?
Sorry.
But at the same time, they do seem keen on hiding themselves, so less and less people know the truth. So it's like this weird juxtaposition where I don't know what the truth really is. If they want more attention, or if they don't want more attention.
Yeah.
Maybe it's better for them if less people know about it. But
yes, for sure. Yeah, I think intelligent species probably in general do that, where they hide from each other.
Yeah, that's true. Right. I mean, when we're studying
the dark forest theory, is that what it is?
Dark forest theory, yeah.
Dark forest theory, yeah. Where they all basically cloak themselves once they reach a certain point, like, holy shit, we don't want to get destroyed. We need to cloak ourselves, kind of thing.
Yeah, speaking of which, did you ever finish that movie on Amazon that you had started but never finished?
No, I didn't. I'm sure it's expired. That's so stupid of me. I bought it and then
too bad, because the dark forest theory, it plays into that movie a little bit.
All right, well, I guess I have to rent it again. But I liked that movie a lot. The acting was good, the writing was good. Wait, what was it called?
I know. That's why I asked you. Just
not
I
the
said
Signal, not
the
Signal.
movie.
Yeah, the movie.
No, because I can't remember the name of it either.
All right, so we've reached the stage now where we can discuss Corbell on The Basement.
Yeah, so Corbell,
what do you think of it?
Corbell was on AJ's show, The Basement. AJ from the Y Files. He's got a different show where he just does long form interviews with people. He interviewed Jeremy Corbell. Jeremy Corbell, as people who are longtime listeners of the show know, I criticize more often than any other UFO researcher that has ever existed.
Right.
Because of the problem I have with Jeremy Corbell is Jeremy Corbell himself. The guy is very full of himself and doesn't really seem to be doing anything to convince me otherwise. However, after watching this interview, I do have to say I appreciate the work he's done, and he clearly works hard and puts in a lot of effort. And the reason he has made it to where he is being one of the lead, one of the most forefronts of the UFO research organization, let's just say that, is because of his hard work and how much time and effort he has put into this. So I applaud him for that. Yeah, I still think he is very full of himself.
Yeah, and that's it. I'm gonna preface it too and say I appreciate all the hard work and effort that Corbell has put into this, and so much that people don't know. Like a lot of the videos out there with John Lear, I had no idea he filmed it. Right? Yeah, it was his camera, and he had to put up with so much shit from John. It was so funny, dude. And this interview made me go watch Sleeping Dog, and I laughed so hard the way he was treated, and he took so much shit from John Lear, and so there's that, right? He had to go through all that bullshit, but we had all those videos because of him, and then he got Bob Lazar. There's that one famous one. I had no idea that it was Corbell, who was videotaping him, when Bob's like, basically he came back. He was like back from the dead, right?
Right.
And he started talking about it. And he's like, I don't care what people think. I wish I never came out. All it did is cause me problems. So there's that. There's the whole the mock congressional UFO hearings. That was him as well.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been around. He's done the work. And yeah, it made me feel bad a little bit because
for how much we ragged on him.
Shit we give him.
See, my first, and we've talked about this on the show multiple times at this point, my first impression of Jeremy Corbell was from when we went and watched the Bob Lazar documentary in LA and seeing Corbell and his attitude. That was my first time. And, first impressions are a lasting one. As
they're everything. Yeah.
And he didn't come off so great. And then just every news story, every little thing coming out about him and seeing the way he approaches documentaries, things like that, it just confirmed my bias against him. But again, he clearly has put in so much hard work and effort, and he cares about the thing. He's not grifting,
He does. And also he doesn't just believe anything, right? Unlike Lear, who believes stuff on that there's aliens on the moon, which is not crazy, but he said that there was a soul catching machine that it catches your soul and recycles you. I mean, that might not be that crazy actually, but
the prison planet thing is not that crazy of a concept. A lot of people seem to believe in that.
Right. So they were trying to, which I didn't like, that they were making fun of John for believing that, but he was trying to prove a point. He also believed that there are beings on the sun that live on the sun, stuff like that. So I think this is where I have it queued up.
Yeah.
But it's a great interview. I do recommend everyone to go listen to it. It's 4 hours. Holy crap.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's pretty lengthy. I watched it in two large chunks when I was getting ready for bed. And it is a good interview. Oh, we talked about it earlier. One thing he did mention, I don't know, it probably won't get touched in this clip we're about to thing, but one thing he pointed out was that the government wants to be in charge of the narrative behind UAPs, which is why this is Corbell's belief, why they're releasing all this stuff, the tranches and all this stuff before the narrative gets away from them. Now the government is stepping in and saying, we know about all this. This is the real story and all this stuff. But now they get to be the arbiters of truth.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, well, that's cool. That makes me trust him even more. Yeah. Right. When he says stuff like that.
He also talked at length about the different tools that are used against him to get him to try and reveal his sources and things like that, which was really eye-opening and really scary.
Yeah. He's dealing with spooks all the time. I think that's
all the time.
He talks about here the spooks with the John Lear.
Did he believe that his soul, that our souls are being harvested on the moon, that's stored by Lou?
To the best of my assessment, John Lear firmly believed that. And
because I saw, in the movie, it was such a crazy sequence. I'm glad Michael put it in there.
Yeah.
Where Lou says, but John Lear, he's got a ticket.
Right.
Out of the prison planet. And John's like, is my ticket still good?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, good. He's like, oh, okay, cool.
So you're describing something in the movie that I hope when people see that, why I think Michael left that in the movie is because that does show you he's sitting there in the sunset of his life. And this guy, Lou Baldwin, wrote him a thing, basically a pass to get through the pearly gates or something. And he firmly believed that he left a lot of stuff out of the movie. It was really uncomfortable for me. So I got Lou, and I bring him in, and I want them to meet because this is kind of one of John Lear's dying wishes was to go to 51, which we did again, by the way.
You did?
Before he died. Yeah. I took him out to the Rachel Bar and Grill.
See, he's such a cool guy. I really love that about him. He took care of the guy. I know he was thinking he was getting something out of it or wanting to get something out of it. He invested his time. He was driving there, right?
Yeah.
But still, he took care of this guy who treated him like shit.
Right. Yeah, there's a funny story. This whole interview, like you said, is worth watching. There's a whole thing about having him fix John Lear's toilet.
That's right.
And then so this whole thing, because they talk about John Lear for the first it feels like about an hour.
Yeah, half the show, I think. Yeah.
And Corbell was there essentially gathering as much video testimonial footage of John Lear, and he was going to make a documentary, and at the very end John Lear signed away the rights to his family or something, and so Corbell couldn't make the movie. And it was that was pretty much, that's how the story ends. And it was kind of this, he felt like as a huge slap in the face, but he wasn't sure if it was a slap in the face or just John Lear wasn't mentally wasn't aware of what he was doing.
Right. And he signed it. Yeah, exactly. It would be weird for him. Well, maybe he just wanted to fuck him at the end too.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, yeah, and he does go on to say that him and John Lear were not on good terms by the time John Lear passed.
Even though he took care of the guy. So yeah, let's continue the story. It's a great one.
We got shook down by two intelligence because they know John Lear.
Of course.
Yeah. So, but they were like overt. It was bad contact.
Right.
They come up to me inside of the Ailey Inn, they called it, and they're standing right by where my batteries are charging in the wall and my backpacks. I can't get around them. And there's a man and a woman, and they say, "Hey, Jeremy, what are you filming?" And I go, "I'm just filming some interviews with John Lear." They go, "Well, I said, how did you get here?" Because I didn't see him walk in. And they're like, "We flew in." And I'm like thinking to myself, "Oh, they're trying to flex on me," because the only people flying in are coming from the base.
Right.
So they identified themselves as naval intelligence, and they said to me,
"Dude, I know I don't want to go off a bit, but we talked about us creating like a route adventure, and it ends at the little alien. It would be cool if we have something like that, have these agents there or something." But what he's doing is that he turns around, there's fucking naval intelligence behind him.
so they say they're naval intelligence. No, I'm sure they were.
That's true. Yeah,
it is one of those things where like, Jesus Christ. And again, I'm sorry, I'm going to keep referencing stuff from this interview that we're not going to end up touching.
No, good, because it's long. So yeah,
he talks about how one of the biggest, most frustrating things is they're spending all this time and effort keeping tabs on people like Corbell when we're fighting a war in the Middle East at the moment. It's like, how do you have the time and resources to dedicate to people who are just UFO hunters when we're in a war?
That is a good point. Just going after Lear too with the stuff. It makes me like even believe the stuff on the moon and the sun is true.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to meet one of those guys. I'd be like, hell yeah, man! Show me your badge. How can I get a job? How can I help you guys out?
You want to sit down and do an interview for a podcast?
Yeah, exactly. Like that's probably why we don't get approached.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
"Where's Bob Lazar?" Which is just this bizarre thing for me to, where's Bob Lazar?
Because you didn't connect with Bob yet.
No, I had not met Bob Lazar, and I was filming with John Lear. This is like my indoctrination into the high strangeness, right?
Yeah.
I'm standing there, and they're really trying to be ominous, like trying to press me a little bit. I never experienced that before that time with agents. And I was just being a kind of shithead. I go, "He's right there." And there's a photo of Lazar on the wall. So I was kind of taking the piss out of him.
ONI does not have a sense of humor about this.
Right. And so, stone cold face like that. They didn't even look where I was pointing with my finger. And they're like, "You're not thinking about going over the gates, are you?" I go, "Oh, no, I wouldn't think about doing that. I hear there's a $600 fine if you do that." Like, I was just like messing with him. So at the time, John was sleeping in the car because he take a lot of naps, So he had kind of was done with it, and I had just been interviewing.
You were safer with the Serbian dude than here.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Yeah.
No, they were just trying to flex on me, dude. And
so John's like
just
taking a nap?
passed out in the car in my Scion, Toyota Scion. He's like, fold the seat back. He's completely snoring. I come to the window. I'm like, "Dude, we gotta go," like that. And he goes, "What?" And I go, "There's just the two ONIs, the female and male, they're in there. They're ONI." They just, started to ask me. He goes, "You met aliens." That was John's reaction. Yeah. John's reaction was, "You met aliens." And
maybe he was right, dude. Like, stop. Like, there's a reason why Corbell, tried so hard to be around Lear. I mean, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the guy was a factory of crazy UFO stuff.
He was, and he was so active online, and his clips were great. And rest in peace. Sleeping Dog is a good. Did you watch it yet?
I'll get to it eventually. I'm in no rush to watch it.
Yeah.
Because I'm still, like I said, I appreciate the work Corbell's done, but as a person, I'm not sold on the guy.
Yeah, exactly. And I caught myself doing that. But yes, like you, I appreciate And maybe one day we'll have him on the show.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't listen to any of our past episodes or even this one.
It's okay. We do praise him. We just
do,
don't kiss his
yeah.
ass 100%.
Yeah.
So News Nation, or sorry, 8 News Now did something in 1989, a documentary called UFOs, the Best Evidence, the Paper Trail.
Ooh.
So this is in 1989. So the only reason why I want to share this is like, it's the same shit. If not, they actually had more evidence.
Yeah, there's George Knapp in there.
Yeah. He's the one who did all this. So 1989. And who's this? So anyway, it's a good one.
Yeah, I'll have to. I don't think I watched this, so I'll have to. Oh God, they got Philip Klass.
Yeah.
Oh,
Aviation writer.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't read my articles, Philip Klass, grade A asshole skeptic. He would do all sorts of scummy things to try and disprove aliens and come up with bizarre, horrible explanations for what people were seeing, and most likely worked for the CIA, or at least was a CIA.
Yeah. 100%.
He was getting money from them or whatever.
Should we see what George Knapp says about him? Oh, there's Lear. In one of his
Was
first
he in there? I
interviews.
missed it. Well, I looked away for like a second. Oh yeah, look at that.
Here, let's see.
Yeah, let's see what he says.
Established an intensive program of ridicule against anyone who said they saw flying saucers, and fear of ridicule was the foundation on which the cover-up was placed. Nobody likes to be ridiculed.
The sightings continued nonetheless in 1950.
He's correct. Maybe let's see what he said about Klass. If he actually introduced him with any respect, or
God, I hope not.
There he is.
That report was kept secret until 1976.
Yes, there was a degree of secrecy. In certain cases, there might be sightings on radar, and we didn't want the Russians to know we had a radar here or a radar there.
Klass is correct, but only to a point, because most of the early UFO sightings were by eyewitnesses, not radar. In New Mexico, for instance, over a 2-year period, dozens of people reported seeing green fireballs over sensitive military installations. But when radar and cameras were dispatched to those installations, the fireballs mysteriously shifted someplace else. A 1949 study by scientists at Los Alamos lab stated the fireballs deserve serious consideration.
So crazy. All this stuff is in all the batches that are being released. Maybe that's why.
Yeah. Didn't get a chance to say much about Philip Klass there, but you can tell he was already disagreeing with him. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, this is cool. It also just proves the fact that disclosure has been going on for a very long time. The leaks have been coming on forever. You know, this is not anything new. So all those arguments that people say, oh, it would have been leaked. Yes, it's leaked all the time, as we show you week by week on this show.
Yeah, yep. You know, and another thing, and something I talked about at length in the Mage article, we have this wonderful, wonderful tool now called the internet, where we're allowed to share information just from peer to peer at will. And before this, 1989, for instance, unless you're watching TV or you heard from a friend to watch the TV, you wouldn't see this.
Right.
You wouldn't know about this. It's not going in the news. And so it was a lot easier to suppress all that stuff.
Yeah, and the mainstream media is not going to cover this.
Right.
Like look at this one, the eyewitness account of black triangular craft next to the USS Nimitz in 1991.
In 91, while on the USS Nimitz in the Pacific, Kevin Villa witnessed a massive silent square/triangle-shaped UFO hovering approximately 40 feet above the ocean. The object was estimated to be about 40 to 50 yards in height and up to 1,000 yards in length. Had a metallic appearance with sharply defined edges and did not emit light or sound or disturb the surrounding water. He observed the object for about 30 minutes before it vanished. He says after this, he was interrogated by military personnel and instructed to remain silent about the incident. Yeah. When he tried to share the experience with those around him, he faced skepticism from his family and religious community, which led to an involuntary psychiatric evaluation. Damn. Wow. He did not officially disclose the event to anyone for 23 years until he shared it with MUFON in 2015. Yeah, I bet. That really messes with you.
Yeah,
that sucks. That really sucks.
The ridicule is real.
Yeah.
You know, the fear. Look, I mean, could you imagine just staring at it? And what, the USS did nothing? I want to ask this guy questions.
And so I'm touching everything on the ship.
Yeah, let's listen to him. But I mean, all right.
And I walk over to the starboard side, which is the right side of the ship, and I just kind of look around. There's a kind of a metal gangplank that runs down the side of the ship, and I look over that way, and there's a UFO just finishing coming out of the water, and it goes about 40 feet above the water and just sits there. And this was not, and all I had ever heard about at this time in my life was flying saucers, round flying saucers, and these little orb things that every once in a while I saw on a special. I pretty much thought anybody who said they saw a UFO was crazy, because I grew up in a church and they said aliens don't exist. And that was, you know, part of, I don't know where they got that, because I've gone back to the Bible and tried to find it. So there's this, it wasn't round, it wasn't an orb, it was what I saw was square. I mean, the ship itself, I'm pretty sure was a triangle, but I couldn't see the whole thing. But the side I saw was 40 to 50 yards high, larger than the Nimitz long. This is what I saw. It was about 300 yards to maybe a mile off the starboard side of the Nimitz up front. Part of it was obstructed by the tower of the Nimitz. And everybody I've talked to, they're like, well, expand on it. Tell me more. I can't tell you more. I stared at it for a half an hour. I mean, every sensation I ever had in my life went away. I just stared at it. I mean, what do you do when you see a block floating in the ocean? And underneath it, there was, the ocean was lit up, but it wasn't like there was these round light spots on it. It just was illuminated. I just stared at it. I don't know what else to say. Last night I got inundated by all these people thanking me for telling my story. And I'm like, my story's not a big deal. I stared at something for half an hour. I mean, it's a big deal, but it's not like I can't expand on it. You know, I didn't see little windows with little green men looking out. It was solid. There were kind of pronounced lines down the ship. I do remember that. And the only reason I know it was a half hour, because I actually referred back to the logbooks. I actually looked at the logbooks for the ship. And then when I went up to the tower a couple days later, I wanted to see who was in flight ops, and found out that it was just the admiral, the captain, and the flight boss. But they were up there, which is 360 degrees class. So they saw it. I'm now convinced they knew it was there. But I just stared at it. And going back at it, I realized I stared at it for half an hour. It only took me about 5 minutes after this buzzing started to get up and look around and see it. We were actually on darkened ship for 41 minutes. And of course, after it left, there was about another 5 minutes before they unlocked the watertight door and I went in. But I just stared at it. I mean, I was thinking something, but it's not like I have a racy mind. You know, I'm thinking about, what are my kids doing? There's always 50 thoughts in my head. I have this job to do. That my mind was blank. I mean, it was just totally blank. I was just sitting there looking at this thing floating above the Pacific Ocean off the starboard side of the most powerful, second most powerful, the Abraham at the time, just floating there. We weren't doing anything. Jets weren't being scrambled. We were just sitting there. The ship had almost stopped to a crawl. We were just sitting in the middle of the Pacific Ocean with this thing floating off the starboard side that was as big as us or larger. And I know I've said it. That's all I could do was look at it. And then towards the end, it kind of moved slightly, kind of almost like a turn, which is when I saw that there was an angle. And I want to say that it went up and disappeared, because I think I saw it start to go up, but it was so fast that when I kind of noticed that upward motion, I looked up. And I'm a guy that's taken pictures of the SR-71 disappearing over the horizon. I did infrared imaging of it. I did spectral analysis, all this thing of this jet when it took off. That's a fast plane. You know, they say it goes Mach 3, it goes much faster. You can watch it go over the horizon like this. I couldn't watch this thing disappear. It was that fast. It was just there and gone. And the thing I remember the most is after looking up, I looked down at the water expecting this huge wake, you know, coming back at the Nimitz from whatever power, nothing. It was, the waves were doing, it was like nothing. There was no force down in the ocean, nothing displaced.
It's fucking crazy. Wow, dude.
Just absolutely fascinating.
I know, right? And you can tell, like, he's not like waking it up, or he wasn't hallucinating.
What shocks me is that no one else was willing to come forward. I mean, he did say he got What were the in the?
He said it was the admiral and someone else that was up on the tower. He went to go check. He said it was only them. He goes, he's pretty sure they knew it was there.
No, but they had but I think in the actual tweet it said military personnel told him to keep his mouth shut.
Yeah,
right?
That's true. That's true. You didn't hear him in the
Yeah, but I mean, Jesus, no one else is willing to come forward and talk about this.
Seriously,
I have to wonder. Like, it doesn't. That's a reach. I'm
touching everything.
I was going to ask if they were sent out there specifically to see that thing.
Probably. Yes. And that's why maybe it was on shutdown and it was only the admiral. He wasn't supposed to see this thing. Everyone else was sleeping or I don't know what.
Yeah.
It's kind of risky to do.
That was that was where my mind was going. Because that is very risky to do. Unless all they have is the people in charge of the military, all they have is a location. They don't know what they're going to go see, but they just say, hey, go out and check out what's out here.
Something similar happened. If you remember the other whistleblower, Matthew Brown, he said that the presentations he was looking at, one of them was a picture of a triangle UFO, he said. And he said that we were monitoring the Russians who must have known that this ship, comes and goes from this area or something like that. So we were monitoring the Russians who were monitoring the UFO in the middle of the Pacific.
Crazy stuff, man.
Yeah,
absolutely. Just wackadoo.
Yeah. I know, they're completely different world out there. It's like they want to keep us away from it just so they, the economy can keep going and, so they can figure this thing out. Or I don't know, dude. If they just involved us, it would probably be better, Yeah,
I hope so.
I think.
Yeah. if they were honest about this, the Nimitz would have had like 50,000 just small boats following it, saying like, "Oh, I want to see the next UFO."
Maybe we can't blame them for not telling the truth. You're right about that, about humanity. Because remember that guy in Brazil who had the UFO thing? Like the entire state came to his farmhouse.
Yeah.
The entire country. What I have this? Oh, sorry. It was because of Trump and his magnets. It reminded me of something.
How do those work?
Yeah, exactly. So here he was at the Pennsylvania Defense and Innovation Summit. As you all know, we have a $1.5 trillion budget coming in. Topher, how can we benefit from this $1.5 trillion? I mean, we can become a defense contractor somehow.
Okay, I've put a lot of thought into this. So one, probably the easiest one, we form a religion and get recognized by the U.S. government, so we can be accept donations and not have to pay taxes.
Right.
We can start an AI company and just mock up all this stuff, going like, "Oh, we've got this great AI. It's going to take over the world in 10 years. We just need $100 billion," and they'll be like,
"AI Messiah.
Here's a blank check. Take it." Or we start. Never mind. I can't say that one. We'll get in trouble. If we start praising a certain, if we become a mouthpiece for a certain global government, I'm sure they'll pay us to continue their work, and we'll get a lot more followers that way too.
We definitely will. Yeah, we definitely will. So, and if Trump would give us advice, he would ask us to focus on magnets. I wonder why magnets.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
And critical minerals, and I hope you're going to do magnets. Somebody out there, I hope you're all brilliant people. Magnets. Do magnets, okay? I'll tell you how to make money. Do magnets. You're doing a lot of great stuff. Do magnets. Because one thing we don't have, but we're getting close, but do magnets. So.
Dude, I'm sure there's like a crazy like gold rush to make magnets now.
Yeah.
He said the U.S. government doesn't have it, which means you can make tens of millions of dollars if you can figure out how to get magnets.
Just do magnets.
Just do magnets, everyone.
Do magnets. I'm gonna go to the store once we're done recording here and buy every magnet I can find.
now magnets use what do you call it? What is that called? Elements, not elements. Rare earth elements. There we go. Yes, and China has control of that. We don't.
Yeah, I'm wondering what he's trying to like. I wonder if they're going to start pushing like maglev trains and stuff like that. Try and do that, or if they're just going to.
So, dude, I mean, why does China have it? And we don't.
Yeah, because those are cool. I like it when things levitate.
They are cool. So that reminded me of because the biggest case when it came to magnets was the Aztec crash. And all the guys they used were experts in magnets.
Yeah.
And this came up at the same time as Trump's magnets, focus on magnets.
Right.
So this is the Aztec crash. We did do a deep dive into Aztec, I believe. I'm pretty sure we did.
I'm pretty sure we did too. The Aztec, New Mexico UFO reportedly crashed in Hart Canyon on March 25th, 1948. Oh, wow. Right after Roswell.
Right after Roswell, yeah.
Approximately 12 and a half miles northeast of Aztec. The craft was described as being approximately 99.9 feet in diameter and 6 feet in overall height, with an 18-foot wide upper dome, 3 internal levels, an aluminum exterior, 6 16-inch mirror-finished portholes, and an entry hatch located on its underside. The account claims that 14 to 16 bodies were recovered, with the occupants reportedly wearing one-piece blue flight suits, and that the recovery operation lasted about 2 weeks. It further states that the vehicle was disassembled into 3 equally shaped pie-shaped sections for transport to Los Alamos using 3 World War II-era M25 tank transporters, which were stabilized with 2 39 by 39 by 9-inch concrete footers. The diagram attributes the crash and recovered details to information allegedly provided to Frank Scully by oil speculator Silas M. Newton, who introduced him to, in quotes, Dr. Gee, described as a composite identity representing 8 scientists.
Yep.
The account was published by Frank Scully in 1950, with the original illustration by William Steinman in 1986. Additional details from Scott and Suzanne Ramsey, and the AutoCAD rendering completed by Michael Stratt in 2019.
Yeah, and there it is, 1948. They figured out that these things came apart, and they were connected magnetically to the middle dome, which housed all the beings and the electronics and stuff like that.
Very cool stuff.
Yeah, really cool. And that craft was the one that had something and like an encyclopedia or something that looked like Sanskrit, and they sent it to Oppenheimer. Yeah. They sent it to Oppenheimer, who understood Sanskrit. Yeah,
right. It's all coming together.
It is, and that's where the whole MJ12 stuff comes. And the third temple, apparently, that's what Jeff Cruikshanks out of from Australia says that he dug up. He sent us that presentation actually.
Oh, nice.
Where they say that. So he thinks the MJ12, it was the 12. They designed it to be like the 12 apostles of Jesus, right? That they wanted to refound Israel and the third temple, and we see that going through because the National Security Act was just a couple months after Roswell. So yeah, it all, like you said, it's all coming together.
Crazy stuff.
It is. One more thing. Yeah. There is Jason Somoza. He's great. He's out of the UK. He's an amazing researcher with the UAP. He's like us, where he brings it into global politics and religion, right? Especially eschatology and stuff like that. He did this. When was this? 2 years ago. He talked about he was going through. He did a deep dive to Tom DeLonge, right, and TTSA and that. He had McCaslin in there.
Nice. And we haven't heard any more news about McCaslin, have we?
No, we haven't. So this is even before he disappeared.
Right.
This is a great deep dive. So we'll link it so you guys can watch it. He has a great channel, Jason Somoza. So cool. And this is here. This is McCaslin. He's giving a presentation. Yeah. Again, he's not too impressive, but he's a patriot.
Clock hour might not see too many people showing up, but we're all engineers, and I know that we all grew up going to early class and not waiting to noon like the social sciences students. So it's a real treat for me to get to try to outline for you what we are doing in the Air Force Research Laboratory and in our effort to create new choices for our Air Force. Let's see if this is advancing yet. Oh, it's on the side. There we go. I'm sorry. It's not behind me. The exit criteria for this area of research is the opportunity for the Air Force to evolve the sensing physics of its ISR platforms with the inclusion of things like LiDAR and passive multimode radar, and to take the touch labor, to reduce the touch labor, increase the operating efficiency of intelligence analysts in the field and in our intelligence analyst centers.
This is from the John Podesta emails that were in the WikiLeaks.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Now, that's somewhat awkward, and when I say this, by the way, I don't mean it in a derogatory way. Somewhat.
There's the man bun guy.
You just saw on stage.
Yes, this is the man bun guy.
That's the man bun guy. Deep State.
So it's Jason Somoza. He was in the skiff. Yeah, we found him.
Stage there is someone called General Neil McCasland. And we can say with 99.9% certainty that that is the final person that Tom refers to in his story, where he meets the general, this mysterious person who seems to have deep and profound understanding and responsibility associated with this issue. Now, why can we say that? Well, in the email chain, you can see there's someone called Neil McCasland, and actually Tom refers to him as General Neil McCasland, with a bunch of other emails associated with him that are very interesting and definitely worth a read. Links in the description. So with that connection made pretty clearly, we go ask the question, who is this guy? Well, Neil McCasland has a PhD in aeronautical engineering that he got from MIT, whilst also working with the Air Force. Actually, he held multiple positions in the Air Force, in the NRO, and also in the Pentagon at multiple points in his career, rising up and up and up and up the food chain until he reached the rank of Major General, which, if you don't know, is very, very senior. But arguably, Neil McCasland's career reached its absolute peak in 2011 to 2013, where he became commander of the Air Force Research Lab, which oversees 12,000 people with a budget of $2.2 billion, where he was basically responsible for the really advanced technical development that goes on for the Air Force. And that was located at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Now, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, huh? Has anyone ever heard of that place before? Well, if you're familiar with the world of ufology, if you're familiar with a lot of the stories and the tales and the anecdotes that have come down to us through multiple generations, then you'll have heard of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base before. This is the place where all of the mysterious UFO stuff seems to happen. So already, when you see General Neil McCasland, this person's resume sounds connected and related to this subject. But very often when people discuss Neil McCasland, they stick at that point and they say, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, that's really interesting, that's the headline. And don't get me wrong, that is fascinating. But there is an unsung chapter to this man's career. Just before he was assigned to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Neil McCasland took on a role at the Pentagon. During that role, he got a promotion, which led to him being Director of Special Programs for the Undersecretary of Defense for Logistics, Acquisition, and Technology. That role sounds kind of boring, and you would never look that person up and say, oh, wow, what a mysterious, interesting job role that must be connected to UFOs. But by default, the person who does that role becomes the executive secretary for the Special Access Programs Oversight Committee. So why does that matter? Well, special access programs are the programs within the Department of Defense, well over 2,000 of them, that no one is supposed to know about. Right? It doesn't matter if you have a top secret clearance. Unless you have a need to know, you won't be read into that program. Very often, the operational budget, the research budget, the functioning budget that's doing the thing the special access program is designed to do is completely neutered in comparison to the enormous security budget. That's because the fundamental requirement with these programs is that no one knows about them. And there's well over 2,000 of them in the United States. They're very expensive to run and they're extremely sensitive. And the whole idea is that only a very small number of people actually know about them, which means that the ultimate end goal is that nobody knows about all the programs or large groups of them. That would subvert the purpose of cutting them up and compartmentalizing them. So here you have someone who is responsible for the oversight committee of these SAPs. Not only responsible, but Neil McCasland was the executive secretary, which meant that he had a senior role and responsibility in overseeing these programs. So he was one of a tiny, tiny group of people who was given that level of access. So look, in a world where you're trying to work out if the reports of people talking about things they've seen in the air are really true, this is the guy you want to speak to. If you want to try and work out if somehow the United States government has really been covering this subject up for 70 years, this is the guy you would want to speak to. And somehow this innocuous rock star who is fascinated by UFOs has managed to reach this person, not only to reach him, but to convince him to start having dialogue and conversations with him and to fly out and meet with him. Now, if you listen deeper into the interviews, and I will make videos about this later on, by the way, so if you're interested, subscribe to the channel and there'll be lots more content related to this story coming up in the future. If you listen to the interviews, Tom DeLonge starts saying some astonishing, bizarre, strange, and disturbing stuff about the UFO phenomenon.
The UFO phenomenon is interested in the bad things, and it brings along a lot of bad things. The way it's explained to me is that they are gods. The pain and the anger and the emotional energy of all the war is something that they're interested in. Humans organize around a priestly class. There's multiple different races. It's not just one specific kind, and the different races don't get along with each other. Genetics and biology play a major role in all of this. The entire UFO phenomenon is about multiple gods that fight amongst themselves and by design factionalize mankind into different religions to step back and let us fight each other, so it has other things that it wants to accomplish. Traces its roots back to antiquity, long before the ancient Greeks, going back to Atlantis and beyond. What you have is something that doesn't like man, period, and something that has some kind of plan for what man is to be. But it's not just one group, some that have been here forever, maybe long before we were. It has a tendency to stay in charge. I had one person tell me extinct ancient civilizations are possibly evidence of those who who did not obey. And then there's other groups that are outside of the solar system that are just bad news. To keep us from elevating our consciousness, the government is very aware that this intelligence is pitting different countries against each other based on religion. The UFO phenomenon has a hive mind. Some of the bodies that were retrieved in the back of the brain was a transmitter. They potentially don't have souls. And right when I sit down and I have a chance to bring this person on board, and he stops me and he goes, when I was a kid, I used to read a lot of Greek mythology. They feed off fear. That Atlantis was real. Something was very important about that time frame and very important about who the humans were at that place. These things are zipping around and doing weird things with animals, doing weird things with people in abductions. They're off trying to accomplish something.
He claims that this information.
I'm gonna have to sit down. I'm gonna have to sit down and watch this whole thing because that kind of stuff is right up my alley.
Yeah, dude, we should bring him on because I think we'd have a great conversation. We'd have to show ourselves though, I think, which is fine, I guess.
That's fine.
Maybe we should just start that and see where it takes us.
Yeah, I mean, I already have a little bit, but yeah, maybe we could throw a show in every once in a while where we're on camera.
Yeah.
The problem is all of these guys, the big YouTubers anyway, or podcasters, they've all got fancy backgrounds and stuff. Like even like, look how nice this guy's got, shells and the lighting.
Yeah. And
whereas we're not doing all of that.
No, because we're not YouTubers. We're real podcasters. I mean, and still to this day, our podcast is more popular in audio form,
right,
than in video. But I would love to have a conversation with Jason. He's, like you said, up our alley with this kind of stuff. He talks about the eschatology too. He's really good. Yeah, check out his channel.
Yeah, we'll just have to verify that he's not deep state before we get on there.
Yeah, or like MI6 or something.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's got a man bun.
Blade Runner. Now, I hope everyone here listening has seen the Blade Runner movies. They're great. Harrison Ford was the main character in the first one, and then what's his name? Great actor.
Gosling.
Ryan Gosling in the second one, and Harrison Ford was a side character as well. But yeah, these movies are great about it's a cyberpunk world, so it's like technology has become the new god.
Right, and AI. There are these things called replicants that look like humans, but they're not humans.
Right.
And they were used basically to construct projects on Mars and the moon, instead of humans.
Yeah, and I think the overarching theory between both movies is it boils down to what is a human? What makes us human?
What makes us human? Because they try to copy almost Genesis in a way. I don't want to ruin things for people, but Gosling's character in the movie, remember he goes looking for something and he was like, yeah, I was trying to implant memories in him, and they were like, and the humans were through satellites would affect him as well, right?
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that? Yeah,
No.
Dude, through satellites. Yeah,
I just know in the first one there's like 6 different versions of it where sometimes Harrison Ford's character is a replicant and sometimes he's a human. I think in the final version that everyone accepts is like the canon one. Actually, you kind of have to with the second movie. Yeah, Harrison Ford is in fact human, but
right.
I think it was Ridley Scott, right?
But he had a kid. Yeah, Ridley Scott. But he had they had a kid or something, right?
Right.
And
I think Ridley Scott wanted him to be a replicant instead of a human, but Harrison Ford said, "No, sir, I am a human being."
Yeah. The reason why I say it's linked to Genesis as well, because the occult talks about human beings that we actually could not have children before when we were created, and then once we were able to have children, that's what made us separate or not slaves anymore, and it gave us agency. So I think that's what they're trying to emulate in that movie, because that's what they're hiding, right? Where the replicants can have kids.
Yeah, I'm still not very clear on that because the replicants are supposed to have very shortened lifespans. They're like, what was it, like 7 or 8 years or something like that? Because they're not coming out as babies; they're coming out as full-grown adults. But then, going from the first one to the second one, the replicant had a child. I don't know. It's very complicated. Very, very fun, very good movies. I highly recommend them to everyone.
Yep, me too. So now there's a series coming out. I thought it was a movie, but it's a series, which is, I guess, even better. Yeah. On Prime. So here's the trailer. I'm pretty excited about it.
We already fought a war. We lost. Replicants. They keep taking it all away. How much longer until we have nothing? Until we are nothing.
Ouch.
The old world forever fights to come back. Humans want what was taken from them. But it's our time now.
Good job.
Like tears and rain. Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're setting up the replicant uprising. I think they kind of hint. Well, I mean, they did. That was a major part of the first thing. I mean, Decker's job is to track down revolting replicants, or rebelling replicants, because he's a Blade Runner, hence the name.
Yeah, it's the age-old story, huh? I mean, I think if it does happen, I don't think they can ever get rid of us. It might end up being like the Matrix, where they still need us around, but not know. It's because I don't think they'll ever. Because I'm dealing with AI every single day, and they keep saying, "Oh, look at this increase," and I don't know what. They cannot be creative. They cannot be creative. They do not understand what it means creative. They have no idea. They have no spark. There's no. What I mean? We have like something that's divine in us.
Oh, they can be creative. They make stuff up all the time. If you go on Google and search for, is it okay to eat rocks? Google will tell you that, yeah, it's actually quite healthy to eat rocks. So they're definitely good at being creative in some aspects.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe that's just a human bias where we go, there's no way they'd get rid of us, right? They need us, or if civilization advanced enough. But again, this is a UAP podcast. We're talking about abductions. The aliens aren't getting rid of us. In fact, they're using us to make
good point.
Human or half-breed babies and stuff. So
good point.
Maybe things do need us.
Maybe everything needs us, because like the Virginia case in Brazil, didn't he also communicate to the doctors like, if you only knew kind of thing? Like maybe the whole Adam and Eve thing is true, right? That we are special, and that God created us in his image, and that everything knows that, and we're just ignorant about it for some reason.
They're coming here looking for God, and this is the closest they can get.
I know, right? Fucking just degenerates.
No,
just mobsters and degenerates.
Now that is a movie or a TV series I'd watch. It would be a comedy where the aliens are trying to find God. They figure out, humans, they were made in God's image, and they show up and they find humans, and it's a wide range of, you've got good people and bad people and all this stuff.
Of course.
So I did watch a good interview with Whitley Strieber last night on Area 52.
That's a good podcast. Area 52.
That episode came out, I think, technically 2 days ago, but I watched it last night, and it was good. Whitley Strieber is great. He's got a lot of fun stories to tell, and he doesn't come off as a grifter because he doesn't have any answers. He openly talks about how he doesn't know what the hell is going on, but he does have some pretty wackadoo stuff going on with himself. He's got an implant in his brain in his ear, tells him how to think, and now he's seeing lines of text across one of his eyes.
What?
It's a very fascinating interview.
Holy shit.
But he just re-released a book called Transformation.
I remember that one.
Yeah, I've got it downloaded, and I want to read it. Because I don't know, I like what Whitley Strieber has to say. I'm a huge fan, obviously, of Communion. I read that. I was funny story. I was reading that in rehab, and I finished it. And because of some of the COVID stuff was going on, they had to. Actually, my roommate got COVID. That's what it was. and they were kicking me out, and I had this book, and I was like, I don't want to take this. And one of the guys I was going to AA with was like, I really want to read that. I go, oh, well, it's yours now because I don't want to take it with me.
Oh shit! Maybe he listens to the show now.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, who knows? I go by a different name here than I did when I was in rehab. But anyway, fun episode. Lots of stuff going on. There's always stuff going on in the world of UAP.
There really is. And for those that say, how could they keep a secret? They can't. Not
really
this one.
can't.
Maybe the specifics and stuff, but no, they just can't. And
I mean, I think
you can't say one's a liar and a grifter.
I think that guy we watched just a couple of videos ago when he was on the Nimitz and he saw that giant triangle came out of the water. That's a perfect example of them not being able to cover up everything.
Exactly. Yeah. And he's just like, he's like, I just stared at the thing. He's like, I didn't think about anything. I just stared at it. It's like, sorry, that's all that happened.
Yeah. But here's what I want to say to that. Don't do the government's work for them. One of the things that was, I don't think he talked about it in the short clip we watched, but it was in the original tweet, is he got a lot of ridicule from his family and religious community. And that is strictly because the government made UFOs such a sensitive subject. So when someone comes to you with crazy claims about something that happened to them or they've heard about it happening, don't dismiss them outright just because it sounds wackadoo. You've been propagandized to believe that whatever they're saying is wackadoo.
You've been conditioned, and how to react. Yeah.
So obviously it's that thing, right? Trust but verify, and obviously that's the problem with UAP stuff, right? Can't verify it.
No,
can't verify it. It's so hard. And so hats off again to people like Jeremy Corbell who are going out there and doing their best to verify these things. They're doing the hard work.
And they're out there, right? And Corbell's out there doing interviews, and he's pushing this stuff, and and he says that most of his business is from real estate, and I believe him. It's not like we make any money off this stuff, so it's a passion that we have.
Yeah. And, as passionate as we are about it, we're not putting in, the full-time jobs like some of these guys are doing.
No.
I mean, because we can't, not because we don't want to. I mean, we have to.
We don't have the hours for it. I mean, we could start investing in cameras and lights and stuff like that and slowly building up, if we want to be, if you want to be YouTube stars, we'd have to do it that way,
Right.
If we want to see traffic and money coming in from YouTube, that's what we have to do. We have to invest in lights, cameras,
and action.
And action. Yes, we need a producer. Who's going to sit there and switch and I don't know what and try and get us interviews and really take it seriously. But we're one of the few shows that push this information out there of what happens every week. I don't see many shows do that. So if you want proof that something is going on in this subject and it's taken seriously by the government and by large parts of the population, then our show is proof of it. You don't have to go that far to say like things are happening. The government is changing policy. People inside the government want this stuff out, and whistleblowers happening all the time. So it just boggles my mind. We're like, why hasn't this been leaked out yet? Dude, it's happening all the time.
You just haven't been listening.
Right, exactly.
Well, I suppose that is it from us. I want to thank you all so much for listening to episode 172 of the Uncovering Anomalies podcast. That is I Have a Need to Know. Adam?
Hell yeah. And
do you want to?
Yes. So you guys can follow us on X at UAP the podcast, and I'm at Breakaway Civil, and Topher is at Topher at all. We're on all of the major platforms, I would say. You're listening to us right now. But if you're listening to us, go over on YouTube, subscribe to us, like these videos, comment if you can. It really helps us out over there. And,
we're really fighting against the algorithm here.
Yeah, and if you want to be a guest, you can pitch us at Uncovering Anomalies Podcast at gmail.com, and we'll take a look and reach out to you. If it works, we'll love to have you on.
Absolutely. And I'm going to make a more conscious effort to be a little bit more on X, because that's where the real players are and the real conversations are happening. And so I've been adding a lot more people and stuff like that. I'm going to try and take X a little bit more seriously because I don't.
Yeah, I got, thing is, I was constantly on there, but I have the 2 side projects, which are completely taking my time in addition to other things. But yes, X is very important, and I will get on there, guys, and I guess confirm a show we have, right?
Yeah, coming up. 3 weeks. We will be off next week. I am finally moving. I've been living in South America since the end of 2025, and now I'm moving to Europe, and I'm moving on Sunday. So I will not be around next week, but I think we have a show planned anyway.
Yes, we will redo with success this time Joseph Farrell's presentation about the breakaway civilization. It's an excellent one. You guys will love it. So we will stream that one next week.
Fantastic. Well, thank you all so much for listening, and we will see you all next week.
Nice.